Going live. Computer slow.
This is the emergency broadcast system. This is not a test. Repeat, this is not a test. Citizens are advised to take the following steps. If exposed, remove clothes. The emergency broadcast system.
Podcast for the curious mind. I don't know what that means.
Broadcasting live from a German-made microphone deep within the multifamily bunker. I am Jamal. We're here with our special Deven Reacts video. You can watch it live or you can sign up for Patreon afterwards.
You say that, but you still post it.
It's true. It's true. Just support us on Patreon. You know, like, I don't want to take this gold away from you.
Yeah.
Under the threat of cash. But before we talk about cash, let's talk about Break Fix Pros, shall we?
Right off the bat, huh?
Is your computer acting like your New Year's resolution? Broken? Then call Break Fix Professionals. Break Fix Professionals will scan and clean your system for free. It's true. That's right. That part is true. Free. And no credit card is required. But that's not all. They are your go-to source for all your misfit PC needs. Windows or Apple, well, it doesn't matter. To Break Fix Professionals, call now at 605-951-9898 or learn more at breakfixpros.com. Break Fix Professionals. If you can't fix your New Year's resolution, at least fix your computer. Listen, that's the last time we're doing that ad. We're gonna have to change it up.
St. Patty's.
I was thinking, there it might be St. Patty's. That's gonna be like 2 weeks. Then I gotta make another one. Maybe we should go use a little forethought on this next one, huh? First of all, before we start anything off, we have good news of the week. God damn it! Who's at the front door? Who is it?
Well, hey man, why do you look so glum? It looks like you could use some good news. See? Do you feel better now? Some good news! Statement of the week, brought to you by Rob Jackson's Sticky Green. Good news of the week.
Good news of the week is an 11-year-old is hiring wife to go to school. Isn't that nice? She also owns a $52,000 Mercedes-Benz that she cannot drive, but it's planning for the future.
All
Deven,
because of the Rona. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She started a business during the Rona called the Pixie Cuties or something like that. I can't read that totally. You have it zoomed in a little too much for me.
Oh yeah. It's
or zoomed out.
No, I forget what the business. Pixie Curtis
it's a
was
toy
her name.
Yeah. Oh, okay,
yeah.
Gotcha. She owns a luxury car.
Pixie,
she makes
that's her name.
She makes $133,000 a month off a business she made.
See, women, there's a way to do this without incentivizing feet pictures. You know what I mean? Like, just think of something she makes. Make your is and fidgets.
Let's see.
And
you're cutting in
like,
and out. I don't know what you're saying. Yes.
Yeah. See, this is can't take it.
All right. Let me find her. I'll find it.
There we go. We'll get rid of it.
With her mom's help, Curtis has her fingers in many pies, including her now multi-million-dollar business, Pixie's Picks. Her sales of hair bows and fidgets took off during the COVID-19 pandemic. It's pretty much it's an online toy store, right?
Yeah. Yep. It's an online toy store.
And she decided to retire so she could focus on high school. Like, God damn.
Does this count
entrepreneurship? Huh?
Does this count as a good news segment of the week? Because I don't feel very good after this. Like,
why?
I hope she crashes.
Oh,
I didn't say get
I
hurt.
mean,
I didn't say get hurt. I just hope it, maybe like a little fender bender, something.
well, obviously
No?
she didn't do this by her fucking self. You know what I'm
You
saying?
don't think so?
No, parents were
Wow.
financially backed, and somebody in that family has the knowledge on how to fucking do a business, start online, fucking, you know what I'm saying?
So you can't even give this little
Yes, you
girl
could
her
say-
credit. You can't even give her her credit. I
There's no
gotta
fucking
say,
way.
dad
She
helped
knows
her.
how to write a business plan. Get out of here.
Some kids are smart. Just because
Yeah,
you didn't know how to write a
called up the
business plan at
Chinese
11.
guy that's building all the fidget bows and shit, and going like, hey, I need you to make these for 5 cents and not 10. There, fucking I'll figure it out.
They are going to
No,
make a movie.
she didn't do that.
Wow, that's
Huh?
sexist. That's very sexist of you.
I'm ageist. I'm not saying it's because she's a girl. I'm saying it's because she's a fucking kid.
You don't think an 11-year-old kid? We
What do you
talked
think
to
it's like Boss Baby.
we talked
Motherfucker
to-
walking in. Huh?
Gurpreet Pata ran his own construction company at 14. You didn't question that.
Who?
The doctor we had on, Dr. Gurpreet Pata. Do you
When
remember?
did he say that? I missed it. I would have called him out on it. Like, yeah, you got a business license at 14, huh? Fuck out of here. I know I'm a dick. See, I'm making you feel better now because I'm tearing this woman down, or girl.
it's not. No, that's not. All right. Thank you, Naomi. Next story. This piece of gold brought to us is once again by you. I don't know how you found this story.
What story is it?
Groom caught being breastfed by his mother on wedding day.
Yes. Oh, I read that. I was like, what? I read the whole story because I'm like, I can't help myself.
Yeah. So groom, I guess the bride had to go use the shitter one last time before she walked down the hospital, or not the hospital. Sorry, that's foreshadowing. Walked down the aisle, and as she goes into the bathroom, the door's open to the groom room, and she sees her future husband suckling the titties of his mother.
Yes.
Like,
he's being breastfed by his dear old mom.
Because are they from Britain? Because that would be a British thing to experience.
No,
I don't think it's
I don't think it said. It just said, well, the person who wrote this article wrote it. That said, her makeup artist friend, she calls Ginny, told her the crazy story what happened, and because she was at the wedding doing the makeup for the bride, and all this went fucking down.
Yeah.
And so she goes to the bathroom after guessing the groom was caught doing drugs or caught cheating. Now she said no, he was getting breastfed by his mom. So she shuts it down. Decides I can't marry this. Like, what the fuck?
I like to think that there was a conversation that took place when their eyes locked, and the mom looked at the bride and said, "This is your job now."
Did he stop?
Did
he keep going? Look like fucking Jim Carrey on fucking Me and Myself and Irene when he gives that good tug. You know what I'm talking about? It's like, am I supposed to have a boner while I'm sucking on this thing?
No, don't see too much. That's we were good up to, eye walking.
Well, I was just saying, does he look? Were they holding eye contact? You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Like, how bad would that be? You walk in, he's like looking down up at his mom, and she's looking down at him, just like patting his cheek.
Do you? I mean, obviously, this is something you have to tell someone, right? Like, you can't.
Would you call off the wedding? I mean, everyone's in the room waiting.
I mean, I would think
you definitely wouldn't kiss.
Wedding
right?
would have to be called.
You wouldn't kiss, right? You're gonna kiss him after that, like after you
How
saw,
is
like,
she
you still got a milk mustache. Like, you need to wipe your lip.
I do. It's that's a story of the week right there. I'll give it to you.
Yeah. It doesn't say where it took place. It just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, it's because it's from a friend, of So it could have been embezzled, but I like to think it's true just for shock value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm taking it. We're leaving it. All right.
Now listen, we've got a little update. We got a little Molech news. A little Molech news for today. Yeah.
Hey everyone, you can sing along too. It's Molech News. Molech News. He's out there to eat kids and Jews. It's Molech. Molech News. It's an update, everybody.
Hopefully we'll land on Uranus. Nice tight fit.
It's Molech news, everyone. Probably going to cause some serious lag. So I apologize to everyone, but it's just just what's going to happen, I'm afraid. So you shared this with me, Deven. Let me see if I can find.
Oh, the dude that went and did a dig in Carthage.
Yeah. And we had somewhat talked about this.
You have, yeah. I don't remember what it was. Was it just a topical when we were talking about Molech and all that?
I think Molech had to do with Aleister Crowley, right?
Yeah, we were talking about it just a little bit in there. I don't think we've actually ever talked like the whole thing of it, though.
So, like, Molech is a Sumerian god, from what I remember, and he demanded child sacrifice, and he would bless crops and bless possessions in return, type of a deal. And he was there's different accounts. Most agree that he was a large bull with a working furnace inside of him. So they, by that I mean they had like an opening on the front by the chest piece, and then they stoked a fire from the behind there. And once they got the fire rolling, they would just sacrifice little babies. And archaeologists thought that this was just sort of a boogeyman's type of tale, right?
The Romans did it to like what do you call that? Propagate.
Propaganda.
How barbaric the Carthaginians were, and which makes sense when you're at a war with them. But Carthage at one point was massive,
huge. Yeah, well, it was the main competitor. Naomi making a comment here, called off as a definite. I assume that's to the wedding.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fair. No, so yeah, Carthage was huge, and they thought it was just this big, boogeyman tale. And then we talked about how when they excavated that area, they came across, thousands and thousands of urns with inscriptions to Molech to bless so and so, and usually a message of what was inside the urn, which was when the archaeologists assembled it. They found that they were all baby bones. So so it's there. I've never seen this before, but there's the video of them actually doing the archaeological dig, which is amazing. Like, and we're gonna play the TikTok video of it. I apologize in advance for the horrible lag that will ensue because of this, but you're just gonna have to bear.
I was gonna say it's like
with me here.
There's like 3 parts to this video.
Yes, and this is
I went and watched all 3 to see how they started, right? And the guy is actually an American who goes over there, and then they go to the Sahara and they run into the Buddha, right? And then they hit this little town. I can't remember the name of the town in Tanzania, where they actually filmed Star Wars, because it's Tatooine.
Okay,
so and then they keep going north, and then they get to the old site of Carthage that's been abandoned, and that's where they start digging. Right, and then they find like a stone template that's got like Carthaginian writing on it, and they just end up deciphering it and figuring out that it's a curse. And so all the Arabs are like, "Nah, I ain't digging anymore." So they had to like increase the wages enough for the Arabs to be like, "All right, I'll keep digging. You're paying me enough. Fuck it." And then that's when they start coming across all these urns. This is where we're at right here.
Okay, so yeah, the first thing they find is a piggy bank filled with coins.
Right,
filled with coins, ancient coins that date to 300 to 1000 BC, which is crazy how they dated the coins that way. Yeah, so there's 300 more years until Christ comes. They found They found like a burial of this. I don't know how they deciphered this, but like a dancer. Her tomb was like adorned with like gifts, tons of beautiful ornaments, wine, rings on her fingers, bells on her toes. They found toys, little children's toys, little carved animals. They find manuscripts, artwork. They find homes filled with beautiful mosaic tiled floors depicting stories of hunting, stories of war.
Normal
And
stuff.
just when they think they've found everything that they could, they realize that it goes deeper than what they were currently at. What they had discovered was only one city, when in fact they found 6 more cities. What? All built on top of each other. So they're going through all of this, and it's a whole 5-year ordeal. One day, they find something that they haven't found before, and this one's different from everything else. They find a pot. Less of a pot and more of an urn.
Look at them pull them out.
They open the urn, and inside they find ash and bone. They take out all the bones, and they start laying it out to see what this is. The bones of a human, specifically bones of a baby.
See, they like fuzzed it out just enough, right?
They document
Make it so
this
clear.
and continue digging. And soon after, they find another urn with another set of 1-year-old bones. Keep digging, and another urn, and another.
Look at all those fucking urns.
18,000 urns later.
Holy hell.
Each urn containing one child. Something's going on here.
Molech. That's a 3 a.m. pod. Yeah, I give it a look up on TikTok. That's a great find. What do you think of that, Devin?
I mean, I believe it. People are fanatical, especially with religion. That's why, like, when you had old dude on
into it.
whatever.
All right.
Hey, you want to? I mean, I just.
No, I do. I think with Joel Soza. Cool.
I know he talked about, like, he barely. I was pretty bored, to be honest. Just saying. Because it's like, to be like really into like how he is, like, you have to be very much a believer in the scriptures, word of God kind of person.
Well, and I was curious how you reconciled those things, and he told us how he reconciled it. So I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, but like when he said it, I was like, well, you're just discrediting your own thing, like saying that it's man-made, to like when he was talking about the Leviathan and how it was a metaphor for fucking Babylon. Right? I'm like,
well, for the chaos of what lies underneath.
Yeah, it's just.
Yeah.
I have a hard time with just that kind of.
It's a psychological approach to it, Like I mean, because I guess that's, if you're a Christian, that's because you can't debate the book of Genesis, right? So if it's not in the book of Genesis, you can't allow for Lilith to be an actual person, because that would make the book of Genesis not true.
Here's my whole thing with all that, though. The people who determine what books go in the fucking Bible and not are still men, and it's just like the Gospel of Mary Magdalene.
Mm-hmm.
And the other ones are like, oh, leave that out. Leave it out. Leave it out. So all these people's premise of freaking religion based off of books in one big book is flawed from the very start. And I understand from where you're coming from. Like, I would imagine if you grew up like super in church, I have friends who are very churchy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm sure they would find that fascinating. But for me, I won't say I dismiss it right away, but it's like I'm very logical, and I kind of believe in I believe in the soul, and I'm like more of a deist than anything. But like religion as a whole, I do not agree with. But if you grew up with all that, I could
organized religion,
and I can understand when you grew up with that. That is very interesting, and you can talk about it and how people believe what they believe versus. I think for me, it just bores me right away because right from the start, I'm just like, it's not for me.
Well, and I think it'd be cool to have someone that is excited about the actual mythical stories about Lilith on more than just
right. Because what I found interesting, just like a lot of parts of Christianity, they all borrow shit from each other.
Yeah,
the traditional stuff. Yeah, like it's Lilith seems to be in more than just Christianity and Judaism. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
well,
okay, where does the real story come from?
Yeah. Well, it's just sort of the same principle of Molech. Like, how do you? I don't know how you keep sacrificing to a god all the way up to modern day. It's a little odd. A little odd.
I think it's just like you get sucked into a group. It's just like the people, like, they fucking does got them fucking like committing suicide to a comet so they can catch a ride. Like,
yeah, but none of those people were powerful.
Human nature, though, is to be a group, part of something.
Yeah.
It's very rare you see an introvert like Nikola Tesla. You know what I mean? Like, most of the time, or like a separatist. Like, most of the time, people need people.
We should do an episode on old Tesla.
I think that would be a good one. There's a lot of information about him, and there's a lot of questions too, like about the world fairs that they used to build in power, and they're like, how the hell do they build them and power them so fucking fast, and then just tear them down? It's like, what the hell?
All right, next story. This is a story of something that happened in 2007 on May 3rd. A doctor and his doctor wife left Britain to go on holiday to Praia da Luz, Portugal. They were with some other friends. There is belief that maybe they were swingers, just having a good time. 5 kids total. I think it was like 7 adults, maybe more. All go to this resort, right? And it gets to be about 8 p.m. All the kids are pretty young. There's a 3-year-old. There's twins there that are 2-year-old. No one above the age of 5. And so they put the kids to bed, and then they decide to go down to the resort bar and start drinking. And they all agree that every 30 minutes, one parent will rotate back up to the room to check on the kids, make sure they're sleeping, and da-da-da. So this goes on for a while until the mother of Madeleine McCann, it turns out to be her turn. She goes up to the room, and right away, they realize that Madeleine McCann is not in the room. So they shut down the whole resort. They're going through room to room. They're checking everyone. They put up roadblocks to make sure no one can leave without being checked, and nothing comes up. And then after 100 days, the police now change it to a murder investigation instead of a kidnapping situation. After that, there's no other signs. And here's the problem. Like, there's British authorities trying to do a investigation, and there's Portugal authorities trying to do an investigation. And the Portugal officer believes, the lead investigator believes, that it was the mother of Madeleine McCann that murdered her daughter. And he wrote a book about it, which the McCanns sued him for. And it went to like 8 years of court before it was deemed that he was not responsible for it, or he was not guilty. And he's just recently published the book.
Oh, shit.
The McCanns also wrote their own book on the series of events that was going on that night. But either way, Madeleine McCann has not been found. And this is now, 2023? So how many years is that? Like
from 2007?
Yes, 15 years. 15 years
16.
ago.
Oh yeah, 15 to 15 and a half, something like that.
So now she'd be about 19-year-old, and the McCanns left a message saying that, we still hold out a small bit of hope that you are still alive. Now, the Portugal detective claimed that the parents, since they both had access, would drug their children. They would drug their children so that they would make sure they were asleep through the night. That's never been obviously substantiated. So that's an alleged claim.
Everybody get your sleepy time juice. Sleepy time juice. I had a friend that no shit would give her kids fucking Benadryl at night to put them to sleep.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did not agree with it at all, but I was like, well, you fucking drugging your kids? Like, what the fuck are you doing? God damn.
That's fucking interesting. Huh. So, common practice, but there's no substantiated evidence of that. Anyway, so they post out this video, and in Poland, a girl responds.
I've seen this like kind of getting traction.
Yep. So in Poland, a girl responds, and she has claimed she has similar, like what is it, like freckles and mole marks?
Yeah, a little like beauty marks or like yeah.
And
moles in certain spots.
She claims that the teacher, when she first got into school, said that she came in halfway through the season. So, like, there's that interesting note. There's no pictures of her mom being pregnant. There's no pictures from early childhood. She looks very similar to the picture of the young girl from 2007 too, as well. But she's also 21, I think, but that could be because the parents didn't know how old she was when they first got her. So the parents have agreed to do a DNA test.
They did do it. Like last I saw is that she was trying and no one had actually came through with it.
Nope. Yep. Nope. The parents have agreed. Yeah, this has been trending since I think February 25th. It started getting
yeah.
But the parents now, as of March 2nd, have agreed to do a DNA test with the young girl from Poland. So I will keep.
When does that come out?
I don't know. You would think it'd be out because it happened. They said like last week. So I don't know how long. How long does DNA test last?
Shall we lose? It depends on the. I think it depends on the test.
I just looked. Oh, you're looking at how long the DNA test lasts.
Yeah.
Well, you can consider it's Poland too. So I don't know how efficient their medical facilities are over there in Poland.
To determine paternity, 2 days. May be available in 2 days or longer. So it's really not. Some businesses offer same day or 1 day results.
You would think on a situation like this, it would be like same day, wouldn't you?
The set on average is for 3 to 4 business days. That's the average. So
and then you got to consider
Maury had the results the whole fucking time. He's just playing it off. God, really he made a lot of money off that show. How many shows did he fucking do doing that? Like so many.
Him and Springer.
Yeah,
and Springer.
You are not the father.
I told you I wasn't the father.
Those are the best ones. Like the ones where like you are, everybody's like, you don't really see many of those. It's the you are not ones. It's like the 8th guy she's trying to get to fucking like figure out who the dad is, and he's like, nope. You still don't know, huh?
Just turns into its mini series. Jennifer is bringing up yet another. It's some trailer park. It's some trailer park boy shit. That's awful. Okay. Next story. Ford has applied for a patent that will freak out people who miss their car payments.
Oh yeah, this is news here. I heard about it just roughly the other day. So I was like looking it up and I was like, get out of here.
So this is some software that they want to put into the vehicle so that if you're late on your payment, it will drive itself to the repo. Therefore, putting a threat to all wrecker services out in the USA. Imagine how many tow truck people are going to be out of a job if this happens.
Oh, I highly doubt that they're going to be like, oh yeah, we can just have driverless cars fucking meandering about the streets.
What I mean? Johnson's right?
The patent to lock you out of your own vehicle, though, I can see that becoming legit because when I actually read the article, it's more than just that. Like one of it's like lock you out of your vehicle, reach into you, like reach out to you, and if you don't respond back, then they say see you later. But the patent is to like be able to have the car drive away. It's like see you later,
So they're going to do it in steps. So what they said is if you miss payments, it'll start with like automatic windows won't work. What was the first round of stuff that they take away from you? It'd be like automatic windows don't work. The locking mechanism you have to do manually, just sort of like minor inconveniences. And then the second step is they turn off your AC. They do a bunch of Oh, they turn off your your display screen, and then like the third step would be it would drive back to the dealership or to the repo center.
Right. But
Yeah, I'm surprised Tesla didn't come up with that first, right? Like maybe they're not dicks like Ford.
dude, like I read a thing about Tesla's like how everything's electronic. So if you let your fucking battery die, you can't even open the glove box.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I did a service call where the guy blew out 2 tires because he hit a pothole and he couldn't change out the tires because the jack wasn't heavy duty enough to lift up the Tesla because the Teslas are so fucking heavy.
My cousin has a Tesla and she got a flat and you can't even change the tire.
Yeah.
She had to have it towed to the dealership to have the tire changed. I'm like, that's awesome. Like,
Yes.
great purchase there. You're really helping everything.
Can you imagine the shame in a small town if you saw Johnson's F-250 just rolling driverless? You're like, times are tough.
Oop, John must skip the payments.
Times are tough. Let's see here. I got a couple more we want to finish up with.
What do you think about it? Do you think that's overreach though? I think people will find a way around it.
Oh, obviously people are going to find a way around it, but I don't think it's overreach. No, you're the one that got a ridiculous loan, and promised to pay it. So, this is,
like the woman who bought the Honda for $320. What is it? How much? $329 for like 84 months. She's like way overpaying for this fucking like. Huh? Google that shit.
Don't talk to me about it. Don't talk to me about overpaying. I know all about that. Moving on. Train derailments. Devin, we have to talk. All right. I want you to look at me. Let's eyes lock. How many train derailments do you think happen in the U.S. in a year? Don't you Google it. You tell me off the top of your head.
212. Am I close?
212 derailments?
Yeah.
No, not even close.
84.
1,400. 1,400 a year. 3 a day. 3 to 4 a day. Train derailments.
Damn.
A day. 3 to 4.
Where do most of them take place?
Well, evidently it's Ohio.
I was gonna say it could be the East because they do have a lot of railroads that are getting old. As you moved out west, everything gets newer because it's just built later.
That's a good question, actually. I don't know. That'd be interesting to see a map of what state has the most derailments. But there's another derailment the other day with like 30, 40 cars, wasn't there? I think you sent me a Twitter on it. In the messages, but that's what got me looking it up because I was like, well,
Texas had a couple. Yeah, some of them happen because they hit. Some of them happen because they hit fucking vehicles that are parked on the goddamn tracks, and it ends up making some of the cars come off the fucking train like from the abrupt stop. This happened in Platteville. A frac truck tried to outrun a train and he ended up getting hit, but then the fucking train ended up derailing and it's sending cars into the fucking highway. Like railroad cars. like fuck, bro.
That's
you just sitting at a red light. Next thing you know, you see a fucking railroad car full of coal just coming at you. You're like, oh, okay, I guess this is my time. This is it.
I was sort of surprised by the number, but the derailments have lessened over the years. So what I kept seeing was since 1990. There have been, on average, like 14 to 1,700, somewhere in between there, derailments a year. And I thought, well, that's interesting. So first of all, what's the definition of derailment, right? And that's just pretty much means any type of slippage. One car, it's not like it got to be a huge accident. There's no like record I can tell of, 10 plus car accidents. But also the number like in 2000 was over 2,000 derailments in a year. To the number in 2018, which it was like 17, and now it's dropped down to like it was 1,087 last year. So Far less derailments by almost 100, but still a lot of derailments. It's like
it is really high, and like people freak out because of the chemicals. I mean, I'm not saying that's not a bad situation that they have happening in Ohio. It's terrible, totally mislabeled,
yes,
hazardous. You know what I mean? That one
yeah.
that I showed you, like how bad the tracks were. Like I can't believe they're fucking using it. It was so bad.
And
You remember that
you know
one? I
what?
mean, it was like they were jagged up and
Yes, I do
down. It was
remember that.
fucking nuts, huh?
Part of me feels like part of me feels like that is just some very interesting propaganda, because I
I
don't think
feel like
that's not a main rail line. There was 2 cars on that thing. You know what I mean? Like
well, people
it's not
don't.
like a a a, a rail highway.
Your internet's awesome. He's
Right.
frozen.
We're in the middle of a blizzard right now.
Oh, you guys are getting that bad weather, huh?
Yeah, we're getting hit. We're getting hit. Um,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
did you hear what did you hear last? No.
I missed most of it.
Okay, so I'm saying it's not the main. It's not
You
the
thinking it's
main
politically?
highway.
You think geopolitical stuff?
Yeah, I think there's I mean, if there's that many derailments, why not just focus on that? Like it's a problem that's already happening. Why not just trump it up?
Oh, right. There's, the other thing I've noticed too, the trend of just humanity. There's a lot of stupid fucks. A lot because people don't know. They're not educated in certain fields. Like I am not one to say like how someone should perform heart surgery. You know what
Right.
I mean? But I feel like when it comes to like anything, like have you seen the stars of Jupiter and Venus? They're not really stars, but you can see Jupiter and Venus like closer to the evening. They're off to the west. And like people are like, "What is that? That's got to be UFOs. I've never seen that before." And like making fucking TikToks about it, and everybody's like, "You dumbass." Yeah, we're all see it.
Right.
Or like you see like people like, "There's UFOs coming over Canada. What the fuck is going on?" Like being like going crazy. I'm like, I highly doubt like UFOs that are coming to visit Earth are like turning on all their lights and saying, "Hey, look at me." You know what I mean? They're gonna be like as stealthy as possible. So if you're seeing lights in the sky, there's probably just some fucking humans up there doing some shit.
What does this have to do with train derailments?
I don't know. I got sidetracked on the thing with trail derailment. Where I was going with this is that yes, they're hauling hazardous materials and they were probably mislabeled on purpose. You know what I mean? They're not.
Oh,
I'm not
yeah.
saying they weren't doing some shady shit allegedly. What I'm saying is the same kind of material gets hauled in trucks all the time, pipelines. I mean, like if people really knew how much stuff went into like so they can have stuff, like we're all hypocrites.
Don't you think this is
We're
a
all
okay?
hypocrites sitting in your fucking house, turning your
All
heat
right.
up
I
on a
don't
cold
want.
fucking winter day.
All right. I think I get the moral argument to it. But what I'm saying is, do you think with all this political propaganda that has ensued from these train derailments and now the news covering it on a daily basis because they can, because there's 3 to 4 that happen a day. So it's pick your poison type of thing. Do you think that possibly this is being used as a government takeover of the American train companies? Because they're going to hold them liable to pay, and they're never going to be able to afford that type of money. I mean, it's going to bankrupt them, right? And then they have to follow the government provisions to fix the railroads to appropriate side.
I mean, that's the MO, right? Like people want bigger government. At least the Democrats do. But I would argue that Republicans are just as bad.
Yes, I would too. Yeah.
So
why not go after?
It's almost too big of a monster, man. Like I see these posts
all the time. That's what they said.
What are you going to do about it?
That's what they said about the banking community. They did that all the way back in what, 1913, 1940? When did they take over the banking system?
Yeah.
So it's not
who
too
owns
big.
The Federal Reserve? The commercial banks own the Federal Reserve.
That's what I'm saying.
They own shares of the Federal Reserve. And who owns the biggest commercial banks? The fucking JP Morgan and, Rockefellers, Rothschilds.
And they did it to the medical community, which was a huge conglomerate. 6 of the nation's GDP.
How much is it going to take to have people fucking stand up and fight? I just don't see it happening.
You don't see the government trying to take over the train system.
They're going to. I mean,
Yeah.
they could try. I mean, it just
I
depends.
think that's what this is. I think this is exactly what this
It's
is.
just
I
more
think,
regulation. It's going to end up costing more.
well, or they can't afford to ship freight, and then what? The government comes in and says, "Hey, we'll get the trains running on time."
You think it's that extreme? I don't think they could just swoop in and do that.
Well, they did. They did with the medical system. They literally did.
Pfizer is still private. The government doesn't own Pfizer or
They-
Moderna.
Government owns the regulation of everything medical that comes into this country, and they get their cut from it. Every aspect, from the insurance, from the pharmaceutical, from the medical facilities.
This is
So
where
why not? They regulate it to help the corporations that favor their administration.
I diverge from all this because the way I think about just currency and fucking money to begin with, it's all fucking facade. Our dollar's worthless. Everybody knows it, but everybody just keeps accepting it. It's ridiculous system. It's all based on IOUs.
So
when people are like, "Oh, we got a deficit and all this," and people get mad because they're spending our taxes, and I'm like, you really don't understand how the machine works to begin with. Maybe you should start there. When you hear a deficit, that means they're spending X amount past revenue. So right now,
I was just talking about trains, Devin.
I know, but you talk about trains like they're trying to take trains over. It's who gives a fuck? Money's screwed anyway. Like,
all right, moving on.
I'm serious.
I know,
Nobody knows, and nobody wants to talk about it. You just fucking move. Oh, Devin's crazy because he knows what real money is.
No,
just trying to educate everybody. Everyone wants to listen.
No,
come at me when your dollar's worthless. You'll be wiping your ass with hundreds because they don't.
Our audience all knows this though because they've been listening to you for years.
How much gold do you have?
So,
how much precious metal do you have?
I'm not gonna state that on the internet.
I'm
but
just saying, do you have any?
So,
if you don't have any, you haven't been listening to me.
Yes, you need gold. Yes, or silver, or
and it's nice insurance. I'm not saying everybody should go out and have 100% of their wealth in precious metal. It's a nice insurance. Like what I do is I plan both. I invest as if the status quo is going to continue, and this charade that everybody's just being willing participant of is going to continue. Because if you know how it works, you can benefit from it because you know how it's working, so you can invest in a way that you have cash flow. But I also have precious metal on the backside in case the real truth comes out and people realize how fucked they are, and everybody tries to own gold and silver, and there is none to be grabbed because it's already fucking all being held.
Mm-hmm.
And
speaking of
the wealth transfer will happen then. And then you move back into paper and hard assets when everybody wants your precious metal. And you're like, yeah, I'll buy your farm for whatever. Clink, clink, clink. I should just do videos about economics. No.
Are you good? No.
I'm gonna promote a book right now for everybody, and they should get it. It just barely came out. It's fucking awesome. If you really want to know how the financial system works and what you can do to benefit from smart people's dumb decisions, because I'm not saying they're not smart. They are, but smart people tend to fuck up, and when they do, you can get rich off it. It's called The Great Gold Rush, or The Great Gold and Silver Rush of the 21st Century. But if you go to ggsr21.com, you can go there and purchase the book. Now it's a little expensive for a book. It's almost like $50. But on there, he does have some free chapters because he has some like real important information that he couldn't fit in the book, and he ends up making it cheaper. But the book is fucking excellent. Chapters 1 through 2 really show you how the financial current system works, how currency's created, all that stuff, how it works with the Fed to commercial level to the public level. And he breaks it down in a way that's very understandable.
All right. What was it called again?
The Great Gold and Silver Rush of the 21st Century.
On Amazon.
ggsr21.com.
All right.
Mike Maloney is the author's name. You can go to his website too, goldandsilver.com. He is a gold and silver broker.
Sometimes why don't you reach out to these people so we can get
Mike
interviews?
might actually come on our show. I don't know
Yeah,
if we have
you should,
enough. He does do podcasts and stuff, but he tends to do like the big guys, like Wealthion.
Hey,
I'm just saying.
Look at me. So does Spike. He came on our show.
This is
All
true.
right? So did Bart Sabrell. He came on our show. Right? Don't fucking downplay this show. How many fucking episodes do we have? You know, there's 101
You
episodes.
fucking preach too.
101. I'm just saying.
Do we have that many? Damn.
101 episodes today.
We're
All
gonna
right.
be like,
next
we're
one.
gonna be just like Jackson Pollock, and it's like
Yeah.
blow up after we die.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm okay
And we're
with
like, have you found these guys? They were right about everything.
I'll take that. I'll take that on.
Be in the history books, bro. Like, Fact Society was calling this shit fucking 50 years before it happened.
Listen, I've got a question for you.
All
right. If your kid got kidnapped in your vehicle and the person drove off and you chased after them and couldn't catch up, obviously, would you expect the car company to have the GPS locate where the vehicle is?
if it had the capability, yes.
Mm-hmm. Final answer? You sure about that?
Why wouldn't I?
So VW didn't help police find kidnapped child because GPS subscription had expired.
Fuck. I mean, in a way, aren't you aiding and abetting the fucking kidnapper? Fucking go arrest the motherfuckers at VW. That's what I say. Whoever made that decision is fucking liable. They're
the criminals
murder or kidnapping. I mean, I would take it that far. And if the justice system wouldn't, I would.
The criminals attacked this poor woman, took off with her 2021 VW Atlas with her 2-year-old still inside the vehicle. Now, it had the Atlas built-in tracking feature in it, but the subscription had expired, and VW refused to let the cops use it until someone paid for it. The cops.
Who's the asshole behind the desk? I'm just saying, who's the asshole behind the desk?
That customer service call. Yeah. No. So from what I see here, the subscription has expired.
I was going to culture appropriate and be like, "Oh, sorry, this is Richard, and they have not paid their bill. I need the money. I'm going to need money."
Millions of children in India who have been.
We would get in trouble. If we were like really popular right now, we'd have to like, sorry for culture appropriating, but I mean, they do outsource those kind of calls. Absolutely. Or it's a German motherfucker sitting there like,
there's no German. It's we don't try to say.
Isn't Volkswagen German? Oh, I guess they sold, right?
I guess it. Yeah. Anyway,
who owns Volkswagen? Let's take it that level.
You look that up while I read some more of this story. So VW refused to let the cops use it until someone paid for it. So the cops ended up paying for a month's subscription to have the Atlas turned back on. They rescued a child uninjured, and although the mother remains in the hospital, she's in stable condition.
Wow. Porsche owns Volkswagen. So where's Porsche come from?
Really? Oh, France, right?
Is
Porsche?
I'm going to say what country is Porsche from?
I'll keep reading. Volkswagen CarNet, when the cops called, said they would not track the vehicle with the abducted child until they received payment to reactivate the tracking device in the stolen Volkswagen.
Germany.
It was. Guess how much it is? It's Germany. Porsche.
Yeah.
French lost a lot. So guess how much the subscription was? Yeah, $150.
Was that counting late fees and shit? Did they have to pay all that, or was that just like how much it is a month?
They had to use their credit card to purchase it. The detective had.
Did they backcharge that to the fucking victim?
So I guess. Yes. Here's the beautiful findings a child.
Does he have blonde hair and blue eyes? We give discount.
We give discounts. All right. So I guess we're gonna have to follow off with a story that has captivated the nation for months now. And, it's just something that we have had to keep tabs on to see how this story is going to work out. And now, finally, after months of silence, the police officer who gangbanged all the other married police officers in a local precinct has broken her silence.
Okay, so are you on what side of the fence you on? I am going to come straight out and say could see how this happened to her, and I kind of side with her a little bit that she might have been actually sexually groomed, bro. Yes, was she like are you consensual? But maybe, because a couple of them were married, right? It's not like
I think all of them
it was just an affair with one of them, right? Like it was like multiples. They could have been extorting her. I'm like, that's your fucking boss's boss. You know what I mean? Like I could see how she could be.
Yeah.
Hey, no, you're gonna suck my
Shocking
dick.
findings of sexual misconduct rocked the Laverne Police Department.
Laverne Police Department, they describe the environment as a family.
Never trust a work.
However, while I was aspiring to protect my community, the Laverne Police Department was not protecting me.
By now, most of the country knows what happened. Hall, 4 other officers, and the police chief were fired last month. This after 2 separate investigations found that Hall engaged in sexual activity and/or shared intimate photos and videos with several male officers. The chief and 2 sergeants were among those implicated. Now Hall and her attorney, Wesley Clark, are suing those 3 supervisors and the city in federal court for civil rights violations.
Megan wasn't looked at like a rookie cop to be trained and promoted. She was looked at as a piece of meat to be sexualized and exploited.
Since the story broke, Hall, the lone female officer fired and only woman on the second shift, became a target nationwide for sexual jokes and taunting.
I received harassing and threatening messages on my phone daily. I felt like I had been terrorized.
And yes, now she is suing. No criminal charges have been filed in the case. Hall knows there are those who will say she was a consenting adult who willingly participated in sexual antics in violation of police department policy, and that now she wants to blame others, including one sergeant who targeted her early on.
All right, so that's
that's
interesting.
I'm just saying, like, yes, consensual in a way, but like all those dudes were her boss. Were any of them fucking, you know what I'm saying? A lot of them were in the heads. And I'm not saying she got like, it's like, baby, it's cold outside. You know what I'm saying? Like she wants to leave and he's giving her all these reasons not to. It could be the same way. Like, hey, just suck my dick, No, nothing's going on. It's midnight. It's just me and you. Like, I can make your life easier. I can make your life hell. Like, I don't know all the details, but I
assume we'll get to see all the text messages now.
She's gonna settle.
You think
they're gonna settle with this and get rid of it? They're gonna pay her and be like, sorry. See you later.
Think so, huh?
Yeah, I don't think they ain't letting this go to court.
Oh man, it'd be fun to see though.
Oh yeah, it would be, and like to hear what the guys have to say about it. See, you know what I mean? Because if they're all lying, their stories won't. They won't match.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and they'll gain access to all their text messages and things like that, so they can actually see what was
being sent. Yeah.
Yeah, and what type of threats are sent over the phone, I guess,
Yeah, so I'm not saying I'm like totally 100% on her side, but I'm lending an ear to it, like, hey, let's
let's hear it out. That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair. Yeah. I mean, I still feel bad for her husband, but
yeah, that's
yeah,
he should be the one suing. Like,
All right, that's it for today's show. Thought we'd finish off with a great gangbang story. So you're welcome.
Oh. Hey man, another thing too, like I think it's okay to have some shows where we're just legitimately bullshitting. Maybe not even having topics, just what we feel like talking about.
Well, I'm okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that's a great idea.
Because there's a lot of shows that do that. They're just
Right.
Talking about how Ja Morant, got busted with a fucking gun like at a club, and then somebody made a TikTok where it's using Eminem's deal, like your name's Clarence and you went to a private school, but they fucking just insert like Ja Morant's, like where he actually went to school, and it's like, oh, he went to a private school. His name is I can't remember his fucking name, but it's something like that. And both his parents live at home, and both his parents have a real good marriage. Just like, oh shit.
It's funny.
NBA.com swinging for the fence.
Next week we're going to do a review of the trial of the murders of the Murdaugh family. And I just went down this rabbit hole last night. So so I'm going to get some clips from the trial there and let you play the jury on the Phantom Facts line. So so anyway, till next time, Devin, have a beautiful weekend.